is you want them to start interacting with text. And so show of hands, you've read a book to your baby. Okay, awesome. So you will see in your bag that you received, if you got it, there's a little talking tips or reading tips. It's like a little folded piece. Pull that out. And we're going to go over some strategies to read to your child in a way that will help them acquire language. And so we're going to bring Dr. Deborah Reed to come back out. So check that out. And we're going to bring some celebrities on stage to help her out with this reading scenario. So give a hand to Dr. Deborah Reed.
Thank you. Great. So did everybody get the little bookmarks? Yeah. And they are available in 11 other languages on our website. So if you know somebody who speaks another language, check out our website and see if we have the language there. If not, you can contact us and we will add another language to our bookmark tips. So my section of My section of the reading rope is to talk about verbal reasoning and literacy knowledge, which means we're going to be talking about how to read a book with your child in a way that will get them to use language, understand how books work, start to build their comprehension skills. So we're going to talk about two things. You can go ahead and advance now. Two things that we can do while reading a book with a child is to focus on what we call concepts of print, which is how the print works, how the book works, and also understanding of genre, which is related to understanding what the book is about and telling us about the story in the book. So let's take a look at what this might be, and then we'll call our little celebrities out to do the demonstration. Can we advance the slide? Thank you. Okay, go ahead, go again. So this is an example. I'm just going to show you this book page for concepts of print, and then I'm going to show you this book page again. It's from the book that our celebrities will be reading tonight. And so if we are looking at a book page, we want to talk with children about how to hold the book, which way is up, what part do we read versus what part do we look at, where is the print, how do I point to this print, and how do I move my finger across the page to track the print as I read it? Because in different languages, print is oriented differently. So if you were reading in Arabic, you'd be moving from left to right. From right to left. But in English, we read from left to right. So it's important to understand how our language works. And if you come from a multilingual home, you can compare it to the other language or languages spoken in your home by looking at different sources of print. We also want to recognize symbols like periods and question marks and commas and other things. We have a great opportunity on this page to even look at a clock, for example. Okay, next slide. So when we're doing a print-focused read aloud, we ask really specific questions, and on the bookmark, I'm going to show you on a later slide, it's the earlier questions that refer to the print and the symbols on the page. Go ahead and advance. So here's an example of a couple of questions we might ask on this page. This is the top of the page. This is where I begin reading. I will go in this direction. We also draw attention to that capital A and how it looks different from the lowercase a. So that's related to what I talked about at the very beginning when we started this evening. Go ahead to the next slide. Thank you. And the other type of questions that we can ask have to do with comprehending the book. So this is our genre knowledge, our literacy knowledge. Go ahead. And this, in one way, has to do with understanding the difference between the way our fiction books work because they tell a story versus the nonfiction books that present information to us. And there are some really great nonfiction books for children, especially on science topics. And they're extraordinary with pictures. They have great vocabulary. So we really want you to be incorporating some of the informational books, not just the fiction books, but the fiction books are fun. Those are the fun stories that you can read and use different voices too. Go ahead to the next slide. So from ages 4 to 6, so those of you with children in here, ages 4 to 6, these are the things that children should be learning how to do to understand text. They can start by creating stories of their own, by drawing pictures and telling you the story that's in their picture. They should understand what a character is in the story and how events cause things to happen. So there's kind of a cause-effect sequence that happens in a story. One thing leads to another, to another, to another. And they should be able to answer some questions. So we have on the back of the bookmark some simple questions that you can ask to check their comprehension of the story. Next slide. Next slide, please. So if we're focusing on fiction, and we would be looking at the who, what, when, where, why, how kinds of questions to understand our story. So you see some of that reflected in here, but these are some additional questions using an example book about Cora and the coconut, I think is what these questions are based on. Go ahead and advance. And so here's our book pages again, and you can see we have quite a different question. This is a question about the setting. He's standing there in a classroom introducing himself. So where do you think this story is set? Is it set at home? Is it set in a zoo? Or is it set in a school? Where would it be? In a school, because he's in a classroom. So we check students or children's understanding of the book by asking simple questions. Go ahead to the next slide. So again, this is the bookmark. When you print it out, it prints out on a regular sheet of paper. If you print it front to back, you then have to cut it out and fold it so that it's nice and handy to tuck into a book. But you can see we have questions related to print concepts, some questions focusing on vocabulary, things focusing on language structure, and then more of those comprehension skills that are called verbal reasoning over there. So that's how you can use this bookmark at home. And now we are going to have, I think, a demonstration with, I'll tell you why they're celebrities while we're making sure that they're here. They were featured in a documentary called Right to Read, their family was. So they are true celebrities. This is Melinda and Melanie, and I'm gonna get out of the way and let Melinda show you how she reads a book with her daughter.
Melanie, this is the title of the book, and the title is what the book is called, okay? So can you use your fingers and point at the words as I read them? The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Wilson, illustrated by Rafael Lopez. So tell Mommy, where should she start reading?
At the big T.
At the big T. And the big T's called what?
The start.
The start, capital T. So there will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. Maybe it will be your skin, your clothes, or the curl of your hair. There will be times when no one understands the way words curl from your mouth, the beautiful language of the country you left behind. My name is Roberto. We just moved here from Venezuela. And because they don't understand, the classroom will fill with laughter until the teacher quiets everyone. Melanie, I wonder why Roberto is introducing himself. Why do you think he's introducing himself?
Because he want to show everybody he want to be friends with others.
He want to be friends with others, okay. Roberto from Venezuela. Your teacher said so sweet and beautiful that your name and homeland sound like flowers blooming the first bright notes of a song. There will be times when the words don't come. Your own voice, once huge, now smaller. When the teacher asks, "What did you do last summer?" tell the class your story. We went to France, Chala says. These shells came from the beach in Maine. A boy named Jonathan holds out a jar filled with tainted shells so fragile, they look like they'll turn to dust in your own untraveled hands. My whole family went to India, Spain, South Carolina, each souvenir a small triumph of a journey. Their travels going on and on. The teacher, Melanie, is asking the kids about their summer vacations, right? So if the teacher is asking them a question, what time of the year you think it is? Are we at school? Are we at home? Are we at the beach? If it's the teacher, where are we?
At school.
We're at school. Good job, Mel. And as you stand in front of that room, you can only remember how the heat waved as it lifted off the curb, and your days spent at home caring for your little sister who made you laugh out loud and hug you hard at nighttime. You can only remember the books you kept on reading long after she had fallen asleep. And in that room where no one else is quite like you, you'll look down at your own empty hands and wonder, what good is this when other students were flying and sailing and going somewhere? Do you think this Carol traveled anywhere during the summer, Melanie? Do it sound like she went anywhere?
No,
She didn't. Why do you think she didn't go anywhere?
because her house stayed in the house to take care of her baby sister.
Good job, Melanie. There will be times when the lunch your mother packed for you is too strange or too unfamiliar for others to love as you do. When even your own friend Nigel wrinkled up her nose, what's in there? And you'll wonder how she doesn't see the rice beneath the meat and the kimchi. You'll wonder why she doesn't remember that rice is the most popular food in the world. Why do you think her friend scrunched up her nose like that?
Her being mean to her other friend
Why do you think she was being mean?
because her don't like the food.
And how do you think that made her feel?
Sad.
It made her feel sad. There will be times when the climbing bars are too high, the run is too fast and far, the game isn't one you can ever really play. I don't want him on our team, and you can watch. Maybe you can have a turn later. So on this page, Melanie, we're going to count what we like to call punctuation marks, okay?
Okay.
And with punctuation marks, we're using periods on this page. So how many periods do you see?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 periods. So how many sentences do we have?
4.
4 sentences. Thank you, Melanie. There will be times when the world feels like a place that you are standing all the way outside. Now, on this page, on this picture, everyone is playing, right? And where's the little boy?
Right there.
And what is he doing?
He looking at the other children playing and not him.
And not him. How do you think that makes him feel?
Sad.
Makes him feel sad. And all that stands beside you is your own brave self, steady as steel and ready, even though you don't know yet what you're ready for. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you until the day you begin to share your stories. My name is Angelina, and I spent my whole summer with my little sister, you tell the class. Your voice stronger than it was a minute ago, reading books and telling stories, and even though we were right on our block, it was like we got to go everywhere. What do you think the classmates did next, Mel, after she told her story?
They was tell their story.
They gonna share and tell their stories. Well, my sister's name is Angelina. All at once in the room where no one else is quite like you, the world opens itself up a little wider to make one space for you. This is the day you begin to find the places inside your laughter and your lunches, your books, your travel, and your stories, where every new friend has something a little like you and something else so fabulously not quite like you at all. And Melanie, what happens in this story? This is the what?
The This is the back page.
And we call it the end. And
The
how do we
end.
know it's the end?
Because we don't have no more pages.
No more pages. No more words.
I want to show them this book too. So, are they wonderful or what? Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Melanie. And the one thing I asked her, I said, I want to show them the book. Sticky notes. You don't have to worry about trying to look up a question on the bookmark. Use the bookmark in advance. Put your questions on sticky notes in the book so that you remember when you get to the page to ask your question. So take the pressure off. Just write your questions in advance, stick them right on the page to remind yourself to ask them when you get to them. And you can change the questions. If you read the book again, change it to a different type of question so that you can keep doing it. So how many of you think you can go home and do this with your children? Easy peasy. Good job. Thank you, Melody and Melanie. I'm going to turn it back to Corey.